He is a gold and a silver medalist in the Olympic decathlon, and he's a recipient of the Jim Thorpe Award. In short, I'm not even going to try to race him to my desk. He is now using his many gifts to inspire millions of Americans, including our children, to live healthy, active lifestyles. Please give a warm welcome to a true champion in every way, Bryan Clay. All right, Bryan, they brought out the gold and the silver medals from the Olympics. I just want the whole world to know, I've never touched one of these in my life. I am so excited just to hold a gold and a silver Olympic medal, the real deal. This is pretty cool.
You should put it on.
Oh, no. You know, I would, but with all these people watching, I would have so many people saying I was committing athletic appropriation. So I'm not going to do it. But I want you to know, I admire that anybody can ever earn one of these. And I say earn with underline because people all over the world aspire to be athletes, but then there's a special group of people who aspire to be Olympians. And not once but twice you've stood on that podium and you've heard the national anthem. When that moment comes and they play our song, what does that feel like?
Well, you know, it's almost an out-of-body experience, right? You're standing there, and for the silver medal, it was a little different. When I was standing there, they actually played the national anthem of the Czech Republic, because that's the person that I was competing against was from the Czech Republic. And so they played his national anthem. And when I heard that, it actually hurt a little, just a little. And I didn't think it would. I kind of thought, you know, it wouldn't be a big deal and it wouldn't bother me at all, but it hurt a little. And so that was kind of a little bit of the driving force to go out and get that gold medal and not have to deal with that same kind of emotion. And when I heard the national anthem for the gold medal, there was just this overwhelming sense of accomplishment and satisfaction, knowing that I was able to accomplish one of my wildest dreams, but I felt like I didn't, you know, sell my soul to try to get to the top of the podium.
Did you have this dream when you were a little kid? Because you always hear people who've done great things, and some people say, when I was 6 years old, that was put in my heart. So for you, when did it somehow get in your head, I'm going to be an Olympian?
I think I was 8 years old, and you know, usually I talk to a lot of kids, and so I'll look out into the crowd at that point, and I'll say, how many of you guys are 8 years old? I don't think that's gonna get any hands raises here, but...
We don't let them in that young.
But yeah, I was 8 years old. It was 1988, which I'm sure many of you remember. But 1988, I was watching Carl Lewis run at the Olympic Games with my family, and as we were sitting in our small little living room, I remember turning to my mom and saying, Mom, that's what I wanna do when I get older.
And that was the moment.
That was the moment. It wasn't necessarily to win a gold medal or to win a silver medal. It was to just experience the Olympic Games. There was something that was so special about watching an athlete go out, stand in the middle of this stadium, you know, representing their country. And it's the whole world against them. The whole world against them. And then coming out on top. It was just something special. And to see Carl, and actually other U.S. athletes as well, run around the stadium for their victory lap. Waving the American flag, having people wave the American flag in the stands. I mean, it still, to this day, gives me goosebumps. If I could do it all over again, I'd do it every year.
And I'm getting those goosebumps.
It's amazing.
After your Olympic career, you've given a lot of your life to encourage kids to live healthier, to be active. You could have made a lot of money just going out into business. So why are you doing what you're doing so intently in a world of service, helping children?
You know, when I was a kid, I would say that I was a lost kid. I got into a lot of trouble, made a lot of bad decisions. Life wasn't, you know, ideal, I would say. And that's fine, and I think everybody has their own story, but I realized as I was growing up and as I made it into my professional career, that I didn't get there by myself. If it wasn't for, you know, my parents and different people that God had put in my life, I would have never achieved what I've achieved. And so when I won my gold medal, one of the first things that happened is I woke up in Beijing, and I remember having the gold medal on my nightstand, and I kind of woke up and I thought, oh man, that was the craziest dream. I dreamt that I won this Olympic gold medal, and I kind of looked around and realized I wasn't in my house. And I looked over and I was like, oh my gosh, it actually happened. I actually won this thing. And then the next thing that happened is I got up and I walked over to the window. And I remember as I walked over to my hotel window, I looked down on the street of Beijing and I saw thousands of people riding bikes by, hundreds and thousands of taxis driving by, people walking everywhere, and I realized, you know, the world hasn't stopped. And it was a very sobering feeling for me. And it was at that moment I started to ask the Lord, okay, Lord, why did you bless me with this? There are so many people out there that deserve what I've gotten in my life more than I do. And there are plenty of people that are better people than I am, and that deserve these types of things more than I do, but why me? And I realized that my gold medal and all the things that I've been able to accomplish in life were just what I call my stones of remembrance. They were the building blocks to kind of an altar, so to speak, or a statue, so to speak, that when people come by and they see those things and they say, hey, how did you do that? I was able to then say, well, let me tell you about the faithfulness that God has had in my life. And that's what I get to do for kids. I get to go around and tell them about the faithfulness that God has had in my life. Whether they believe in Christ or not, this is my story, and I get to share that story with them to hopefully inspire them to be the best that they can be.
And now you've gone from that platform with the gold medal to the platform of talking to kids. What an incredible thing. You do a lot of fitness apps and things to help kids so that they can do something practical rather than just sit and veg out with electronic devices. Bryan, I want to thank you for not just for being here, but thank you for all that you're doing to encourage kids. And I want to say thanks for bringing these medals by, because, you know, I'm an old guy and I've never seen one of these in person before, so that's pretty cool too.
Well, thanks for having me.
Great to have you here.
Appreciate it.
You can follow Bryan on Instagram at Bryan Clay. Also, look him up on Facebook and get your hands on his incredible book. It's called Redemption. Hear that? Redemption. Great book at online booksellers, or go to bryanclay.com, where you can also learn about the many projects and his foundation. That's bryanclay.com.